Hi, I'm Matt Dragonstone. I'm an astrologer and tarot reader from Melbourne, Australia, and today we're going to have a look at one of the most misunderstood signs in the whole zodiac. I'm talking about a sign that gets a bad rap constantly, that gets described as nitpicky and argumentative and overly critical. But it's a sign that I think may just be the most noble sign of them all. I'm talking, of course, about Virgo. When astrologers talk about signs, they're talking about styles of expression. So when a planet like the Sun, which is all about consciousness and identity and creativity, expresses itself through a sign like Virgo, then there's a certain set of characteristics that goes along with that. Virgo's style is introspective. Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury, which is an energy that represents perception and orientation. Virgo's ability to perceive and to orient itself starts with a crushing awareness of its own internal world in the most minute detail imaginable. Virgo is born knowing what it's made of, emotionally, physically, and psychologically. Ordinarily, that's a recipe for success, right? Of course, sometimes that's the case. There's a long list of high achievers with the Sun or other significant planets in Virgo. But with Virgo as a style of expression, problems start when that sense of perception and orientation is directed to the outside world. Virgo comes into this world with an almost innate set of standards. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that very early on, Virgo becomes painfully aware of how it fails to measure up to those high standards, because of this ability to perceive and orient, which is evolved to a very high degree right off the bat. It's a painful process for old Virgo to become aware of its own shortcomings while also trying to make its way in the world. Luckily though, Virgo has the elements on its side. Virgo is an earth sign, so it's grounded and practical. In many ways, this is Virgo's greatest strength, as it can couple its ability to perceive things in minute detail with a practical approach to the world, meaning that it has an ability to change the world around it in concrete ways and to align that world more closely with the ideals that it brings into it. If Virgo sees a problem, then it has the tools to take action and solve it. Because of its strengths in perception and orientation, Virgo is able to manipulate the world really efficiently so that it better aligns with this idea of perfection. Virgo tends to take work and everything to do with it as a kind of religion. Not just because work as a concept relies on our ability to manipulate the world skillfully, something that Virgo can do really well, but because work also brings with it external validation and recognition. Virgo craves this validation, maybe even more so than any of the other signs. Because of Virgo's painful sense of self-awareness, its ability to validate itself isn't as well developed as, say, Leo or Aries. In the world of work, Virgo gets the structure that makes all Earth signs comfortable. A definitive role with a set of performance metrics that result in validation, and on a deeper level, the possibility of a sense of completion in the form of discrete tasks. This eases Virgo's anxiety by breaking the terrifyingly large world in which it finds itself into smaller, more manageable pieces, and brings its focus to the small picture, the internal, inward-directed landscape that, as an introverted sign, it feels more comfortable operating within. This process of breaking the world down into more easily consumable chunks is so necessary for Virgo's sanity that it easily slips into viewing its entire life as a piece of work, or a series of tasks that it has to perform perfectly. This is great news for employers, and in realistic terms, this mixture of an exquisite eye for detail coupled with technical and practical know-how makes Virgos solid gold employees and very highly sought after. However, Virgo can run into a few challenges when it comes to another vitally important category of human experience. Heaven for Virgo is nothing short of perfection, of everything running smoothly. In life, Virgo settles for a feeling of accomplishment, which comes from taking a messy situation in which things aren't functioning or orienting themselves efficiently and cleaning it up, fixing or manipulating its component parts until it more closely resembles the perfect version that Virgo has inside its mind. Now, I think this is inherently noble because Virgo puts its money where its mouth is and does the necessary work to change things for the better. But while this is great news for cleaning an untidy room, proofreading an essay, or doing a jigsaw puzzle, it can spell disaster when it comes to other people. Most human relationships just don't function like that. People generally don't appreciate having their faults pointed out to them, no matter how well-intentioned the criticism is or how much practical assistance is offered to back it up. This is where Virgo gets most of its bad rap in relation to other signs in the zodiac. And this is also kind of a fatal flaw for Virgo. Remember, Virgo finds real joy in manipulating the world outside itself to more closely align it to an idea of perfection. Virgo shows love through affectionate criticism, with the intention of making the object of its affection better in some way, shape, or form. But most people just see the first part of that equation and just switch off, which, to be honest, results in some real pain for Virgo, who has enough to deal with already. For me, whenever I'm accosted by a Virgo with a long list of observations about how I live my life and how I can make it better, I try and keep this in mind. That way, what comes across initially as an unsolicited barrage of criticism instead starts to resemble something really deep and beautiful. Something which is actually Virgo's best trait: unshakable commitment. Virgo will tell you what's wrong with you, with sometimes razor-sharp accuracy, but that's never given to you without a commitment to work with you to make things better. So the next time a Virgo friend, loved one, or family member offers you some helpful feedback, try and keep this in mind, and you may even come away from it feeling a little bit special. If you've got the sun in Virgo, or if you've got a lot of significant planets or placements in Virgo, then I want to hear what you think about what I just said. Did I argue your case well, or were there some things that I missed? Remember to like and subscribe for more great content, but most importantly, comment and tell me what you think. And if you'd like to know more about how you can make the stars work for you, then check out my website at dragonstoneastrology.com and book a reading. I'll leave a link in the description so you can click straight through. Meanwhile, I'm Matt Dragonstone, and until next time, keep an eye on the skies, okay? See ya!